Right now, a frustrating situation for a Madison woman who sees her stolen car being driven around town. Why Madison police weren't able to help until days later.
Madison students are learning how they can make a difference in their community by looking back at Dr. King's legacy.
Plus, Waunakee students are creating the high school's first Black student union. We'll share how they're hoping to carry on Dr. King's dream.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
And thanks for joining us. A Madison woman's car was stolen from her garage with her purse and $1,000 worth of work supplies inside.
Police found the car, but not before she did multiple times. Gabriela Becerra joins us to explain why the process to get her car back was strangely difficult.
Well, Madison is experiencing what police call an epidemic of car thefts. A Madison woman shares her story after she became a victim and left her questioning police protocol for locating and retrieving stolen vehicles.
My car just disappeared. My car always is in the garage.
Millie Castro says she reported a stolen vehicle with valuables inside to the police on Tuesday.
All gone, my cars, my ID, everything, all gone.
The next day, Castro saw strangers driving her car on Madison's west side.
They went for Raymond Road, they took the Whitney Way, and they go through under the 1218.
Despite having the car within eyesight, Castro says the police could not help her.
I called the 911, but they said that they cannot do nothing until I have to let them know the address where my car is, and so they can go there.
Castro says she heard that again multiple times over the following days as she continued to see her car around Madison, but never stopped at an address.
I felt so frustrated because I saw my car.
Castro says she told the police a gas station had surveillance video of the people driving her car, but it took them days to look at it. Castro finally got the call she had been hoping for on Saturday.
The police say, "Hey, you Millie? Yes. You report a stolen car, right? Yes. We found your car. We found a guy in there, and we got him. But do you want to come to pick up your car?" Of course I want to pick up my car.
But although her car is back where it belongs, fear now sits in her passenger seat.
That's so scary for me because they not stole from the street. They stole from my garage.
Madison police said they were not able to speak today about what the protocol is for locating and retrieving stolen vehicles. Castro says she will now always lock her car even when it's in the garage.
It'll be interesting once we finally do get a response from police. Gabby, thank you.
Thank you.
To weather, cold tonight, light snow later this week. Let's check your first alert forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
But our mild trend will continue. After a cold day tomorrow, temperatures will go back above normal on Wednesday and then stay there all the way through next week. On Doppler tracks, some morning snow flurries have drifted to the south into northern Illinois and Indiana, and skies are actually clearing across much of the state. Low temperatures this morning, where there was cloud cover, temperatures were in the lower teens, like from Madison westward. North and east of Madison, clear skies allowed temperatures to drop into the single digits. High temperatures today, generally in the lower to middle 20s. Madison topped out at 25, Janesville at 27. And you can see current temperatures now in the middle teens here in Madison, upper teens around the city. And by tomorrow morning, temperatures will be down into the single digits with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow will be a partly sunny and cold day with a high of 24, but some light snow is in the forecast beginning on Wednesday night. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. We are learning the name of the victim in a homicide on Madison's west side over the weekend. 20-year-old Antonio Stidham of Chicago was shot and killed inside an apartment on McKenna Boulevard Saturday afternoon. Police believe it was a targeted attack, but a suspect has not been identified. Their investigation is ongoing.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office is calling for help from the public to find who is responsible for Nicholas Day's death. Day was found dead alongside a rural road in Blue Mounds. Originally, investigators thought he was hit by a car while jogging on County Highway JG south of Burgum Road. But the medical examiner determined his death should be investigated as a homicide. Sheriff's officials want to speak with people who knew Day and may have any information about his personal or professional life. You can call the Sheriff's Office tip line on your screen. We also have that number on channel3000.com. Anyone who wants to remain anonymous can leave a message on that tip line. The State Department of Justice will review a group of sexual assault investigations from the Wisconsin National Guard. That's according to the Cap Times. It comes after a federal report released in December found the Guard used internal investigators who, at times, were not fully trained. The report also found the Wisconsin Guard ignored protocol, including not tracking or reporting data on sexual assaults to the federal government.
The city of Janesville will transform farmland along Ruger Avenue into a park with native prairie plants and a walking path. That's according to the Janesville Gazette. It's part of the expansion project for Ruger Avenue between Wright Avenue and Highway 14. Residents were responsible for paying for a sidewalk and curb and gutter improvements. To avoid having to pay $130,000, the Nats family is giving the city their 16-acre plot of land that they've farmed for a century. The park going in its place will be named after them. The latest census of agriculture shows Wisconsin ranks #2 in the nation for number of organic farms. Wisconsin Public Radio reporting organic operations make up 2%, more than 1,200 of Wisconsin farms. California has double that number. The Midwest Organic and Sustainable Education Service told WPR that Wisconsin has unique networking opportunities for farmers who want to go organic.
More than 50 years after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s death, ceremonies across the country are paying tribute to his legacy.
The holiday is also a day of service. Amanda Quintana explains how Madison students are learning to give back and strive for social justice. Amanda?
Today, middle school students learned about Dr. King's legacy and how they can pay tribute to him in their own lives. The Madison Public Library held a youth call to action. Students participated in free workshops on a variety of topics, from volunteerism to the role of music in the civil rights movement. The event's theme is "We're Still Marching Civil Rights to Black Lives Matter," helping students connect the dots between activism decades ago to today's battles for equality and justice.
We stand on the shoulders of those who went before us, but we only know that we're standing on the shoulders if we take time to educate or to get involved in the social justice movement, in the civil rights movement.
Students had the opportunity to sing freedom songs and march around the Capitol. They were also invited to make a commitment to service activity throughout 2020.
Today was the 40th annual official state ceremony celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. King. It is the oldest official state celebration in the country. The theme, Stand for Justice, focuses on bridging the social and cultural gaps that divide us. And Dr. King became one of the most visible activists in the world as he fought for equal rights.
We've come a long way since MLK, but still have a long way to go. Jamie Perez sat down with a group of Waunakee students who are trying to carry on his dream today.
Well, these kids have already made a difference by starting the very first Black Student Union at Waunakee High School. There's about 20 students in that group, and today I sat down with 3 of them who say this group is all about education and fighting for equality the way that Dr. King would have done if he was alive today.
Nikki RAULS, TJ Gilmore, and Isabella Moore are just 3 of very few Black students at Waunakee High School. They started the school's first Black Student Union so students of color could feel seen, heard, and understood.
Madison area schools where they have like different ethnicity classes you can take and learn about. That's like electives they have there. They don't even offer that at our schools.
At Waunakee High School, there are no Black teachers. It would be up to a white teacher to take a supervising role over the Black Student Union.
The very first thing I said to them is, how do you feel about a white man advising Black Student Union? And the kids said to me, Mr. Murphy, who else is going to do it? It was as simple as that, and it was the right thing to do, and the kids needed it.
And on a day like today, where the students who are making history at their school reflect upon a man who did the same during his time, they know how much power they have to make a real change.
The things that we do daily are things that they could never even dream of, so I think that progress has already been made, but then also taking it a step further to dream even farther, because I don't think they'd want us to meet the goal and stop there.
The district is very supportive. We have this charge of equity now, and we're pushing forward with that, but the district curriculum director recently contacted me about coming in and talking to the students about our curriculum and changing that so students of color can see themselves within the curriculum.
Their goal? Educate. And from the looks of it, they're already taking MLK's dream one step further.
We don't fight with weapons, we fight with our voice.
That group has already made a major change to the school climate. Their advisor tells me that this will be the first year that Waunakee will teach students about Black History Month. So that's something that these kids should be very proud of. I have much more details on this at channel3000.com.
All right, Jamie, thank you.
Sure.
Next at 6, there's a new partnership among Rock County Fire Departments to help cut back on response times.
We'll explain who's involved in the new technology that could help save lives. Stay with us.
The Henry Vilas Zoo is starting a fundraiser for wildlife recovery efforts in Australia as wildfires continue to burn. Wildfires have destroyed habitats and killed more than 1 billion animals. The zoo has set up donation boxes at the gift shop and restaurant, or you can donate online from now until the end of February. Money will go directly to WIRES, Australia's largest wildlife rescue organization, and Zoos Victoria, a leading conservation organization. Rock County Fire Departments are taking a new approach to handling calls.
They say this could shave minutes off response times. Amy Reed joins us now to explain what technology is helping them make this move. Amy?
The tech here is called Automatic Vehicle Locator. It uses the GPS in the fire engines and ambulances to find out who is closest to the call and dispatches those units to the scene. This took some collaboration. Right now, Town of Beloit, City of Beloit, Janesville and Milton, both city and town, are the only 4 departments to sign on. They said this partnership allows any of them to respond to calls in any of the districts. They rolled this out last week, and they already have seen a couple instances where it saved as much as 10 or 15 minutes, which is huge in an emergency situation.
We are sharing resources, and the resources are being, you know, it's equipment, it's manpower, it's everything that we need, and this way it's a better use of tax dollars.
This GPS technology existed for most of them, so it didn't cost much to implement. Janesville's chief said that he had to put about $30,000 into retrofitting the old rigs, and this is in use across the country, and the departments tested the technology before it was put in place. They hope once they show it in action, other departments in the country will sign on.
Amy Reed reporting. Amy, thank you.
A revolutionary device created by UW-Madison doctors and engineers is changing the way breast cancer tumors are removed, and it's all with the help of GPS. The device is called a smart clip. It's a tiny clip placed at the center of a breast tumor. Previously, before surgery, doctors would place wires through the skin to locate the clip, which is often an uncomfortable and anxious process for patients. But now, as soon as the patient lies down in between the mattress and the surgical knife, the smart clip can be seen.
So the nice thing about this is I can say within a few millimeters exactly where this breast cancer is and exactly where the clip is. And that's really important because then we're not taking out too much tissue, but we're taking out the right amount of tissue.
SSM Health St. Mary's Hospital is the first hospital in the entire world to use this technology. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, our Amanda Quintana shows us how this tiny tool is transforming the way doctors remove cancer.
Coming up in sports, a somber return to Lambeau Field for the Packers after their loss in the NFC Championship game. Kevin Lewis looking ahead to possible roster changes for next year.
And sunshine tomorrow will be deceiving, plus a chance for some light snow later in the week. Gary has your first alert forecast next.
For first, fast, accurate weather updates, watch First Alert Weather.
When we Meteorologist Gary Canaldi's back this week after a weather conference out in Boston, learning all the latest.
First 2 days I was there was 70 and 73.
In Boston.
Are you kidding?
Boston has only hit 70 degrees 4 times in January in their history. 2 of the times were this past weekend. The 73 on that Sunday was the warmest ever for Boston in January.
Wow, you
welcome home, Gary.
Climate change is happening. We'll talk a little bit about Madison temperatures here as well. Let's take a look at 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Now tonight and tomorrow will be cold. Low temperatures, single digits tonight and highs in the mid-20s for tomorrow. It's actually not that far from average, but just a little colder than normal. But as the winds pick up, so do the temperatures. Look for rising temperatures tomorrow night, and by Wednesday we're back into the lower 30s. We'll be in the low to mid-30s all the way through next week. There will be some light snow chances Thursday and Friday. I don't think it'll amount to very much. But if you take a look at how Madison temperatures have warmed during the winter, the folks over at Climate Central provided us with this graphic showing since 1970, winter temperatures have gone up 4.6 degrees in Madison. So far this winter, by winter we're talking about the months of December, January, and February. We're 7 degrees above average for December and about 7 degrees above average so far for January, and temperatures will be above average for the rest of the month. In fact, the next 10 days, notice here's the average, the normal high temperature, 24 for a high tomorrow, but after that, temperatures low to mid 30s, even as the average high temperature gets up to 27 by the end of that period. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Above normal temperatures expected into early February, including about a 60 to 70% chance of above normal temperatures here in Madison, and precipitation expected to be above normal, but not by much, and some of that will be in the form of rain. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Pretty quiet out there tonight. Winds aren't that strong. In the high today, 25, the low 10, very close to the average of 26 and 11. Right now, we're at 15 degrees with clear skies. The air is calm, so there's no wind chill to speak of. The weather pattern has shifted again. We're starting to see the storm track shift farther to the north as the polar jet stream starts to take some strength out of the southern branch of the jet stream. So the weather systems are coming in at a higher latitude. For us, that means that it's driving mild Pacific air eastward. So these dips in the jet stream aren't as pronounced like the one that's over us right now. So as the next weather system comes in, it's more likely to bring mild air ahead of it. So this cold snap that we have will be a very short-lived one. And then as those southerly winds start to kick in, or southwesterly winds, our temperatures go right back up. Current weather map shows high pressure just off to the west of us. As that high moves off to the east, notice the winds becoming southerly and actually a warm front developing out to the west. Temperatures on our side of the front, teens, single digits. The other side of the front, 30s and 40s, and we'll be back in the 30s by Wednesday. So for tonight, look for clear to partly cloudy skies, low temperature dropping to 6 degrees with light and variable winds. For tomorrow, look for a sunny day, but it'll still be on the cold side with a high of 24. As we look at future track, those temperatures drop off into the single digits by early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, we'll see plenty of sunshine, high temperatures in the middle 20s. Tomorrow night, notice how temperatures start to rise after dropping to the teens in the evening as clouds move in. And by Wednesday, we could even see some flurries by late in the afternoon. High temperatures will be in the lower 30s. Some light snow likely from Wednesday night into Thursday and Friday. Could be mixed with a little rain south of Madison, but notice those temperatures back in the middle 30s through the weekend. Another chance of snow toward the end of next week.
The future uncertain for a handful of Packers starters. We caught up with a couple of free agents to be. Stick around.
News 3
hope for every player is that you clean out your locker after a run to the Super Bowl. But the Packers cleaned theirs out today, less than 24 hours after losing in the NFC Championship game. Now, some guys know which locker they want when they come back next year. Others, like free agent to be offensive lineman Brian Bulaga, don't know if they'll be back next year. Bulaga admits he doesn't know what's going to happen now, but he has no regrets about spending a decade with the Pack.
I've grown up here. Got married when I was a Packer, bought my first house. I still live in, 2 kids. I mean, a lot of ups and downs, that my wife and I have grown from. Very appreciative of being a Green Bay Packer and being a part of a lot of good stuff that's gone on here the last 10 years.
The Packers could potentially have a huge hole to fill on defense. Linebacker Blake Martinez is an unrestricted free agent. The 26-year-old was second in the league with 155 tackles this season, tied for the league lead 2 years ago. Martinez said he doesn't know what will happen in free agency, but he'll never forget this season.
It was a special place for me. This is a special place to me. It gave me my opportunity. I love Green Bay and the fans, everybody, everything about it, the players, the team. This year was something special to me, the guys we had. I've never had a group of guys like this that just wanted to win, wanted to be better every day.
Martinez and Bulaga aren't the only starters who could be wearing a different uniform next season. Receiver Geronimo Allison, 35-year-old kicker Mason Crosby, and 37-year-old defensive back Tramon Williams, a few notables who will be unrestricted free agents in March. Amarion Nelson was diagnosed with a brain tumor when he was 7. Now 15, Nelson's had multiple surgeries with another scheduled for tomorrow. But the La Follette student had one more obligation before his next treatment. Get up close and personal with the Bucks, getting the full-day VIP treatment, starting with a pizza party at St. Kate's Hotel, which is awesome, hanging with his buddies, and eventually the team, who is running a little behind because they're getting ready for a game in Paris on Friday. Wesley Matthews hooked up tickets to the Bucks game this afternoon against the Bulls.
His mom, Pam, sent me a text saying we have 4 seats for you behind the Bucks bench, as well as a post-game pass.
Just being away, I take my mind off everything. I don't think about nothing but basketball. I just like basketball, like sports.
Don't think you can get my job just yet, young man. The Bucks hosting the Bulls. Giannis moving without the ball. Gets the feed from Wesley Matthews, spins, scores. Chris Middleton going to find the Greek freak in the lane. You know how this ends, with a two-handed flush. And Giannis going to be on the giving end. Drives, dishes, Matthews, easy deuce. The Bucks have just one, and they have scored 100 points or more in 69 straight games. The NBA record is 75. The Bucks are 39-6. They are very good. This is not breaking news. I wish I had more. Yeah, but yes, the Bucks have won.
All right, Gary, final check.
It's cold out there, but not bitterly cold. Temperatures right now are in the teens here in Madison. We're at 15, still 19 in Janesville and 20 in Monroe. Wind chills right now, really not much of a factor. The winds are pretty light. So look for a high of 24 tomorrow, but back in the low 30s on Wednesday. Could be some snow. Thursday and Friday shouldn't amount to too much. And then see those temperatures staying above average all the way through the end of next week.
Gary, thank you. And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.